What's going on there, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting a little while to go ahead and put this video together, but I think now is the time to go ahead and do so because I really wanted to give DICE a round of applause for going ahead and, bringing us a Battlefield game that has amazing atmosphere, but also fantastic attention to detail. Seriously, I've been seeing a bunch of clips over the past weeks of players showcasing multiple different things, and seriously, this game... I don't want to say it's Battlefield 1 levels of atmosphere, but it's pretty dang close. I'll tell you what, it is probably one of the better Battlefield games we've had in a very long time. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and begin with the first clip I saw here. This is by insert name 98 saying deployable cover is repairable. Guys, I didn't even know this was actually a function within Battlefield 6. I had no clue that the engineer can actually go ahead and repair the deployable shields. That is insane. It adds a whole nother level of team play, but it also makes me question how overpowered will this be when more people understand this, because I would say over half of the people playing the game had no clue you could repair any of the shields. So as more people start to understand this, will we start seeing some techniques and, a bunch of engineers? You see like 5 engineers sitting behind the deployable shield just nonstop repairing it like how they do with tanks. And if they do that, is it going to be overwhelming or not? That's what I'm a little bit curious about here. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have a post by Bleeding saying, muzzle blasts from tanks can move nearby objects, including other vehicles. This looks great. Again, it might be a little bit overtuned, especially for the vehicle that is, being showcased here. But regardless, overtuned or not, I love the extra, I guess I could say, atmosphere of this game, especially when it comes to destruction, how everything works, as you can see right here with the tanks and the radius of the blast affecting everything around it. I just love that oomph that a lot of stuff gives within this overall title, and I thought this was really cool to go ahead and showcase because, people are a little nutty within the Battlefield community when it comes to, again, attention to detail, and I thought this was a really cool one. Next up here, a post by Dimension saying, best Battlefield 6 video I've seen so far. Guys, you cannot tell me this isn't like the most badass thing you have ever freaking witnessed. I don't even bother trying to go under tanks. I never have. I mean, you're automatically run over. I don't know if this is a bug. It might be, but you can't tell me it's not the coolest thing in the world to be able to go between the tracks, crawl on through, engage with all the enemies, while at the same time being able to affect the tank itself. I don't know. Personally, part of me thinks that this should stay in the game, but I would love to hear if you guys think this is a little too much or if this is just about right. Next up here is a post that I saw over on Twitter by Joseph Fox that said, holy moly. And this post perfectly showcases the atmosphere of this game and just the vibes that it has to offer. Watching that tank absolutely explode, fly into the sky, and then completely demolish a corner of the building. A little while ago, we saw a little destruction being showcased to us. And, I think everybody thought that was going to be incorporated with Battlefield 2042 because it looked amazing. And Battlefield 2042 had nothing. And then out of nowhere, we're getting exactly that. This is, I think, exactly what they were showcasing back in the day. If you guys remember, the footage the devs showed us, it was like a bunch of World War II soldiers and then the buildings crumbling down, stuff like that with the new anime. All of the above. If you guys remember that, yeah. I think Battlefield 6 is exactly what they were aiming towards. And then I guess 2042 was just, a filler game until the tech was there. I have no clue. I'm just happy it has finally arrived. Next up here is a post by M01 saying, only in Battlefield sequence, and it's them going ahead and having all of the rubble crumbling down upon him and his teammate while he slowly tries to drag them out of all the debris while enemies are, blasting fire in their direction, slowly picking them up, trying to give some suppressive fire. Again, a perfect clip that I think showcases, again, the game-to-game atmosphere that Battlefield 6 offers at a constant basis. I mean, I promise you, you are never short of moments exactly like this. They're around every single corner. As long as you're playing with your buddies and having a good time. I mean, gosh, stuff like this happens very frequently. And again, I feel like the devs did a phenomenal job at balancing out the destruction to make sure it wasn't too overwhelming, that it destroys everything in its way along with the players. While at the same time, it's not so weak that it's not, you're just not afraid of it. They found a perfect middle ground to where it's intimidating, but you can have moments like this without it just destroying the whole sequence. Next up here is a post by Tay, I believe, saying, "Cool detail I found in Battlefield 6. You can hear your character let go of the trigger after you hold it on a semi-auto gun, guys." This is just, again, it's small little things exactly like this. Seriously, I know people are going to say this isn't that big of a deal, but this game is littered with small, tiny details. And the more that you understand them and you hear them and you notice them, the more they start to accumulate. And the game, as I said, you just get sunken into the atmosphere and all the tiny little details that it has to offer. But let me stop talking for a second here. I want you guys to hear this clip just so you can hear exactly what they're talking about with how it makes a sound when you finally let go of the trigger. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is a post by Alex saying, "This is easily my favorite part of this game, guys." I know, again, it's something so freaking small. It's not really that important, and it's not crucial whatsoever to an FPS game, but even just going ahead and shooting the paint cans and just watching them explode with actual paint and not just, shoot a corner out of the can and just watch it go fly with nothing exploding. Again, the attention to detail is crucial because this shows love. It shows passion from the development team. Tiny things that over half of the audience will probably never even witness. Things like that is when you know a development team. When they put a lot of time into that stuff, that's how you know they genuinely care about the game. But as I stated, I know this is tiny, but I just thought this was really awesome to see. And just very quickly, I would love to add, wouldn't it be awesome if the paint actually got on your gun and hands? Just like how in Battlefield 1, if you were to go ahead and, dive into the mud, your gun just gets so muddy and gunky, so on and so forth. It'll be cool if the environment like that, like the paint itself, just kind of stuck onto things until you at least died. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but again, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. But next up here, we have a post by Age saying, "Have you ever seen two UAVs hit each other?" Guys, again, another cool little attention to detail and also atmosphere when two people call in a UAV in a similar area. If they line up just right, they'll go ahead and, make contact and explode. I don't know, man. Like, I said it 1,000 times over in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of this stuff is tiny, but I guess that's the whole point of this video. Showing how much DICE has, put love into the overall project. The attention to detail within this game, the atmosphere that they have created, the tiny little details on certain things, whether it's the guns or how you can interact with certain parts of the environment. All these things add up, And a lot of companies nowadays always try to take the quick route because they know that if their, game is big enough, they don't have to worry about certain details. The name itself is going to sell the game. They don't got to worry about anything else. They could just make the, a base cookie cutter style of shooter, push it out the door, and people will eat it up. Simple as that. But Battlefield 6 has really brought me back to what gaming used to be completely about. The love and passion of the developers, Gaming used to be an art before it's become some type of mainstream type, thing where all the massive companies are just trying to milk as much as they possibly can. It used to be passion behind it. People used to really love what they did, and the people who played the games loved, the passion of gaming. And that has shifted over time. And again, as I stated, a lot of these companies are just trying to force out titles because they know they can do so. Gaming has grown so much that it's not just hardcore gamers who game. There's a lot of casuals out there who don't look for attention to detail or any of the good all that stuff is irrelevant to them. They just want a brand new shooter to go ahead and play, or a brand new game in general just to go ahead and play. They'll dump in hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for microtransactions, and they'll leave it at that. And a lot of these corporations know that that is, a massive portion of the audience now. So as time has gone on, a lot of these games have kind of crumbled and lost that passion from the dev teams because, they're just forced to crank out games so consistently. They don't have any time to be creative. And the whole idea is to, crank out as many titles as possible to make as much cash as possible instead of actually cranking out games that they love and they're passionate about and they want others to be passionate about. But as I stated, Battlefield 6 has reignited that flame. For me personally, when it comes down to love being injected directly into these titles. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, go down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about this overall video. Do you agree with me? You think this is like amazing atmosphere and awesome attention to detail, or do you think it's lacking, especially to previous Battlefield games? You guys know I love reading all of your guys' opinions, so again, leave them down below. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post your daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And obviously, as we usually do, we have a double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you guys want to stay up to date on anything Call of Duty, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, or even Ark Raiders related, by all means, subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.